we're going to rebuild my intake. And I mean re-gasket and try to clean it up. So let's get to it. So this is my 99 intake, and the reason why I'm keeping this is because it has valves, and let me show you real quick. So this valve right here will open and close to give you low response torque or throttle to speed it up. There's a valve, and it kind of just works. And I have the plug for it, which I didn't have, but I'm going to rebuild this. You know, it has been rebuilt since, well, never that I know of. So rebuilding this thing, first thing you're going to do is remove all the bolts right here on the top, and then also there is some brackets right there. So you want to start with that, and this is my first time doing it, so let's get to it. So as you can tell, this thing needed to be cleaned. It is horrible, disgusting. I mean, there's oil buildup right there, and that's probably from the valves, or the valve, what I just did yesterday, the valve seats or the valve seals. So it's pretty bad. I mean, as you can tell, there's oil everywhere. It probably wasn't even sealing right. So I'm going to get this all cleaned up, so probably about use 2 or 3 things of brake cleaner just to get this all cleaned up, but I needed to look better and run halfway decent. I mean, it's just horrible all the way. Let's see if I can get some light in there. So it's black in there, it's black on the inside. I mean, there's just oil everywhere. So trying to get this all cleaned up so it actually runs better, and well, I don't want junk inside my engine, and this would be the main thing. Also, this was the valve that I was talking about. So it closes and opens to let more or less airflow in. It's really good for non-turbo vehicles to run it like this, and I don't plan on putting a turbo on it anytime soon. So I'm going to run this, and hopefully this mechanism still works. If not, I can get another one. So for fairly cheap, but time to clean this thing so it actually works properly. So as you can tell, I got this all cleaned up. I used about a can of brake cleaner, just clean it out, and then I let it sit here. Same with this, all cleaned a lot better than what it was. I mean, there's still some dirtiness in there, but I mean, who can complain when you just use brake cleaner to clean it? So next is reinstalling the seal. I'm going to put some adhesive on it if I can find it. There it is. Copper spray gasket. It's for high temp. I tried it on my head gasket, hopefully it works. Now I'm going to try it on this, the intake manifold. So that, okay, well it goes like that, but first let me spray this and then I'll bolt it all up.
Here we go.
Next, I'm going to be doing the same thing with the gasket spray right there, and then also, well, spraying this and then mounting that up onto the engine. So I have to wipe down everything, make sure it's clean, so it actually seals properly, so it actually looks right. So let's get to that. So I got everything mounted on. It looks good. I have the intake manifold bracket down here. I did have to take the alternator off just to get the intake on, because there's one bolt back there. Let's see, right there. Right there, that I had to put on, so this bracket has come off. I am using a 93 alternator bracket just because that's what I wanted to do, and it makes it easier on me, so I could run, actually because I was running a 91 intake water pump, not intake, and this also, so it just makes it easier all around, because I am running, all the bolt-ons are 91 or 97, I think this one is, or 96 actually, 96. So next we're going to be taking where the throttle cable goes. I have a Flying Miata one that I'm going to bolt on, so let me bolt that on and figure out what we're doing next. So I got the throttle cable bracket mounted up. I was a little bit confused. I had it upside down and facing this way, and I don't know why I thought that, and I thought I was going to have to cut into it buying it from Flying Miata, but I knew I was wrong somehow. Come find out it mounts like this. So got that all mounted up. I got my fuel also. This is my fuel regulator. It's just something quick, simple. I have this fuel line like this, so it's easy to go to the back. It won't hurt if you mount it upside down, as you can tell. And well, it's working pretty good. I'm surprised that it worked. I looked online, it won't hurt. Many NB to NA swaps, they do that, so it actually is fine. You just have to hook up a vacuum line to it, and that's what I did. I closed off this one, and then this goes to the brake, and this goes right there. One thing I'm probably gonna have to do is use some lines. Like, I'm not sure. I have a couple lines. I bought extras, so that would work. But next, we're going to be mounting up the AC bracket, the power steering, and connecting all the hoses. Just getting it prepped for when it goes inside the car. It'll be easy. So next we're going to be, I had some spare coils. I'm going to be unplugging these or unscrewing them, and I sprayed the Flying Miata adapter, as you can tell, with Wrinkle Black, and I also took this off, which is the throttle body cable bracket adapter, and I'm going to attach that. So let's get over and start putting the coils on this bracket. So next I'm going to replace these fuel lines. I've been waiting for the parts to come in for it, just because this fuel line right here is going to be difficult to get to, and then this one needs to be replaced. So I'll probably end up shortening this line right here, so like the actual line itself, so this can sit a little bit closer and not far up. I'm going to keep this bend so it can keep on going and come out right there, come out right around this area, and then shoot down, because I know the Miata fuel lines usually sit right about right here. So I'll have to wrap this one down this way, away from all the heat. So I'll have to try to probably figure it out, probably shoot it through that hole right there and come out right around this area also. So I'm going to start working on that, and then I got the valves that I needed for this. So I'm going to end up putting it on. Actually, let's look at this. So I'm probably going to brake clean this real quick, and then might even cut the top right here, so I can actually put the intake or the valve cover on. So cut off these little notches so you can see the timing. So actually, let's get this first so I can show you what I'm going to do. So next I'm going to be cutting off around these edges right here, or just this first edge, so you can see the timing gear and whatnot. But I am, for right now, I am going to leave this, where so there's a tube that leads from like right there to all the way back here, and you need these 2 bolts. So I'm going to keep those 2 bolts. I'm just going to cut on this line right here, or this invisible line, make it straight. Same right here, same with right there, so I can have those, and then later on I can take the valve cover off and just trim it off. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm probably not going to record it just because, well, it's literally cutting something away, and I'm just going to trace that line. So let's get to it. So as you can tell, I got this thing all, well, trimmed up, modified it. I just cut around this edge, but if you look at it, it's not all equal. Should have drew a white line, but again, I can do it right here on this other edge and cut it later once I get a different intake other than the stock one. But next we're going to be moving over to mounting this spacer from Flying Miata. So the main thing is you have to drill 2 holes right there, and if you look at it right there, I got one started, or one almost completed, and it'll screw in there. You have to tap and die it, and most people don't tell you what the tap is, but it is, you want to get a 13/64 to drill, and then the tap right here is trying to find it, it's probably where I can't read it. It is, I'll get back to y'all, or it'll appear right about now what you need to use to tap into it so it matches this. So got that working. So I'm going to finish this up, and then we're going to move on to getting the fuel lines located where I need them to. So I officially got this mounted on the Flying Miata spacer, but now I realized after trying to run the fuel lines that it's probably best if I just bring the car in here and start pulling out all the stuff that I need for this engine so I can swap it over. I'm probably not going to put on jack stands yet, but I still need to take off the hood and start pulling pieces that I do need from the other engine. So I'm going to start doing that and bring in the car. So I got the Miata pulled in here, as you saw. Got the fender off because my hood latch, one of the bolts decided to get stuck or unwelded, as I'll show you right here. Let's see, it's just twisting in place. It wouldn't come off, so I had to take the fender off, which I needed to take that fender off from the beginning because with this Miata VTEC, the solenoid, I have to wire it in, and we'll get to that later. But next I am going to be removing the strut base and the intake manifold from the car so I can get to everything quick and easy and simply. So I'm going to knock that out. So next we're going to be ripping off, well, not ripping off, but unbolting this throttle body because it's going on to my 1.8. And then also we are going to be removing this wiring harness right here because it disconnects pretty easily. And well, I need it for this one, and hopefully I can hook it up without removing this intake. So as you saw, I got this off, but I wanted to show you something. I do not know why there is a washer. Hold on, let me go grab a magnet real quick and say hello to the boo-boo. He said hello back, as you saw. But there is a washer inside my engine. That's from when I did the head gasket eventually, or when I did a long time ago, and I'm surprised it didn't affect anything. So it's pretty oiled up in there, but it looks good, other than, well, having a washer. He says hello again. But I did get the, hopefully I can get this back out. So I did get the wiring harness put on. The hardest one was this injector right there, plugging it in. And then everything else was pretty easy. I extended this out, as you can tell. So that was pretty easy. All I did was grab some extra wiring from this and soldered it on, so it wouldn't affect it, and put some heat shrink behind it. Where are you going, mister? He's just investigating. But yeah, it's going pretty good. I got that plugged in, extended this. The next is putting actual connections on these fuel lines right there. As you can tell right there, there's no connection to hold it there, so the pressure would just make it blow off. But I wanted to see if it fit, and it did. So next is feeding these lines, and well, yeah, feeding the lines to make sure all the fuel lines are hooked up properly, and then we'll move on to the other side. So I just want to show you this. I was about to put this on and then replace the gasket, but when I was about to replace the gasket, I realized that this was just plastic. So if your Miata is leaking from the rear, it might not be a rear main seal, it just might be this gasket in the back, where this cascode. I mean, it's literally rubber, or plastic now. It used to be rubber. So make sure you replace this every once in a while. That's what I would do, or I'm about to do, since I'm doing a fresh rebuild on this. But always check on this. About to throw this in. I did get the throttle body on, and it's sitting pretty good. It looks beautiful on there. I did not use the Flying Miata bolts that they provided. I did use my own that looked a little bit more OEM, and well, they all set at 12 millimeters, where Flying Miatas were some weird size that didn't match the rest of the car. So again, I had some spare bolts laying around. It makes it look a little bit better. So get that put on. And then I'm not sure what else I got put on, but working on this next. About to throw this on and then probably put the valve cover on. So it is about 3 hours, I would say, later. I finally got everything bolted up that I need to. I am going to tomorrow, not going to put in the video, I am going to run all the lines that I have for it. So everything's done, everything's bolted up where it can be dropped in. But I am going to be removing the trans on this. I'll be able to put on the clutch once that's out. I did scuff this up a little bit just to see what would happen if I wanted to polish one of my intakes. And it looks like it's going to be pretty easy. I know that's not the smartest thing to do, but only thing that needs to go on here is the temp sensor and all the water lines, or all the lines all together. And then tomorrow I need to fix, I don't know where it's at, but I did rip off one of my lines, as you can see right there. Oh, right here. So I'm going to fix that tomorrow with a little bit of glue. Or I'm going to buy an aftermarket intake off of eBay so I could get away with this, so I don't have to worry about that. But that's it for this engine. I mean, it's ready to get dropped in. That's where the video stops, y'all. I appreciate you guys watching. And it was a lot of work just to get this prepped and ready, and it's been a while. But again, I appreciate you guys watching. And remember, never give up.
Yeah.